Welcome back to the Black and Gold Report. Again, talking with head coach of the cross-country team, Gary Aycock, and the season is coming slowly but surely to an end with the culmination at the Peach Belt tournament, which we'll get to in a minute. We ended up before the break talking a little bit about Pardon Luvu, and I was just told off camera that he has been named the Peach Belt Conference Player of the Week for the fourth week already this season. He has broken the UNCP men's record twice this month, or once in the end of September and once at the beginning of October. I mean, is he at the point where he expects to win virtually every race that he's a part of? I mean, his confidence just has to be sky high right now.
Right. Well, confidence is something we've been working on. To say that he expects to win every race isn't necessarily the way I'd phrase that. He wants to win every race, and it's what he does and the outside of practice and the outside of racing that really puts him in the spotlight when the gun goes off. Again, fierce competitor. It wants to win every race and be there at the tape.
We talk about the limits of human competition and how fast somebody can. I mean, how much better can he get? How many more seconds can he shave off that time, considering if he keeps training and what have you?
Well, you know, considering the fact that he's really not been in a race to where he's had anyone push the limit for him. Mm-hmm. Even in Division I pre-national race, he was leading the field up until 1,000 meters to go. That's a tough question to answer. I think he's definitely a top 5 guy for D2 cross country, and I think that he'll be there stride for stride at the national championships with high hopes to win.
Well, with the season almost over and only the Peach Belts really remaining, who at this point in the season, for both the men's and women's side, in your opinion, have been the most pleasant surprises for you?
Pleasant surprises. Well, we've had solid performances from Livia Mahaffey as our team captain. But as far as surprises go, I'd have to say our 2 freshman women, Savannah Thornshell and Kendall Boykin. Both fierce competitors, and they were recruited to make a difference within the women's roster, but they've really stepped up to the collegiate ranks, and coming from high school racing to collegiate racing is a bit different, and they've laced the shoes up and have raced well in each race that we've run. And
certainly have contributed to things because, as you know, the ladies have maintained their #1 ranking in the USTF CCCA regional rankings. They've been #1 for a couple of months now. Does this put any pressure on them as they go into Peach Belt play? I mean, does this put a target on their back for that much?
I think on paper it does put a target on their back. The Peach Belt teams, as well as some of the schools from the SAC and Conference Carolinas, it's very competitive in our region this year. So any week, those results could flip-flop. I think that we're one of the 3 best teams in the region, and the conference championship and region championship races will really tell the story.
Okay, well, we're moving right into that. It makes, again, a nice segue. Both the men's and women's teams are preparing for the culmination of the season, the Peach Belt tournament, or the Peach Belt Championship. I keep calling it a tournament, but the championship is on October the 20th, which is the day that this show airs. First, what are your expectations for both the men and the women? What do you hope to see here?
Well, we're really excited about the opportunity to travel down to Montevallo in Alabama, and it's going to be a long ride. We're leaving on Friday. We race Saturday morning. I mean, that's not ideal race circumstances. I really expect the women to have a legitimate shot at winning the Peach Belt title. It'll be the first in school history. They're excited. I'm trying not to put any pressure on them. I mean, our practices have been going well, our races have been going well, and I'm just going to tell them to go out there and do what they do. And if they race like they practice, then we should be at the top. Men's side, I think we're a top 3 team. I think because of our youth, having so many freshmen and inexperience from underclassmen, I think that's going to hold us back a little bit. I think Pardon will be a sure shot to win the conference championship, and it'll just be up to the freshmen as to how well they race on race day.
It's kind of interesting because cross country is sort of unique amongst the Peach Belt sports in that you don't really race very much against the other teams from the Peach Belt until the tournament, until the conference championship shows up. So, I mean, who are the other Peach Belt teams that you're going to be looking out for that's going to give you some competition, you think?
Wow, again, that Peach Belt race is going to be a dogfight on both sides. I think the biggest competitors, Columbus State, Clayton State, Augusta State, Montevallo, Flagler, and I know it seems like I'm naming every Peach Belt member institution, but it's going to be that competitive, and anything can happen when the gun goes off. But I really think, based on our experience this season and how our practices and races are going, that we'll be fine.
So the Peach Belt in cross country is pretty much the way that it is in every sport. There's no weak sisters. There's
That's
a lot
right.
of teams that can win this
Absolutely.
race, a lot of teams that can win every sport here. Well, let me ask you this. What determines whether or not a runner progresses to the NCAA Southeast Regionals after the Peach Belt Conference event, and even what can progress them further to participate in the NCAA Championships in Missouri a couple of weeks after that?
Well, the region race is an open invitation, so anyone in the southeastern region with D2 has the opportunity to race in the region race. How you qualify out of the region, top 3 teams, top 10 individuals. And again, on the women's side, us sitting at the #1 poll in the region rankings, I think we have a legitimate shot to be on an airplane to Joplin, Missouri to race the national championships. The men, I think, are currently ranked number 8. Again, taking the top 3 teams, but cross country is a sport that it all comes down to how well your teams perform on race day, not what you've done throughout the previous races that season. So I'm very excited. I think there are high hopes that we'll run well at the end of the season.
All right, Coach. Well, we're looking forward to an exciting Peach Belt Championship coming up next weekend, and that's all the time that we have for this week's edition of the Black and Gold Report. Until next week, go Braves.